But anyway, you've talked about, you were just saying the Supreme Court has a lot of issues. Obviously, it is unfortunately for right now the Supreme Court we have. The Republicans got Amy Coney Barrett, and below the Supreme Court, they're confirming judges so quickly. They're barely out of law school at this point. So assuming Joe Biden becomes president, and I assume that because he won in every way that Democrats are required to win in America to have even a chance of becoming president, what do they do? Like, Biden doesn't seem like he's going to pack the court. Multiple Democratic senators, sorry, I almost called Joe Manchin a Republican, whoops, say that they're not interested in that. So what can they do?
Well, a lot of it depends on Georgia. I mean, the Georgia runoffs are key. And as much as I also sometimes accidentally call Joe Manchin a Republican, he caucuses with the Democrats. And that getting McConnell out of the majority leader seat alone will allow Democrats to bring people up for a vote. How they vote on it, Manchin can still pull a Manchin. But right now, so much doesn't happen because McConnell doesn't allow things to come up for a vote, including on court nominees. So if Democrats happen to be in charge, so much depends on Georgia. If we don't win both runoffs in Georgia, we can assume that Mitch McConnell will not allow Joe Biden to appoint anybody to the Supreme Court or to the federal district courts. I was on a call. I was on a thing with Nan Aaron, who runs the Alliance for Justice. It's a great website, great organization. You should check it out. She was saying that we could legitimately be looking at 100 district court vacancies over the next 4 years because there have been so many liberals who are they want to retire and they've just been hanging on, trying to hang on to get to a Democratic administration. So there will be seats to fill, and it's likely that McConnell will not allow, if he is the majority leader, will not allow Biden to fill a seat, much less 100 seats, much less, God forbid, if Stephen Breyer, who is 82, I believe, passes away. Or Clarence Thomas could also drop me. Octogenarians tend to die. I think that's something we have to kind of build into our system. So you never know what could happen in the Supreme Court. There's no way McConnell lets Biden fill a seat. Now, what should Democrats do? See, this is why I like talking to young Turks, because because there are things that we can do. And there are things that people aren't going to be comfortable doing, but there are things that we can do. For instance, if I was magically the president of the United States and Mitch McConnell wouldn't let me put my judges on the court, I would tell my judges, show up for work. Show up for work. Tell the Senate that say the Senate hasn't done their job to assent and to confirm and assent to nominees. Show up for work and let the other judges, what they're gonna do, kick you out of the chamber? Judges don't have an army. Judges can't even fight. So I would put my people on the court and basically dare Republic. Like, it's time for the Democrats to start playing constitutional hardball. I do not believe that the Constitution was written and intended for one turtle in Kentucky to be able to stop the entire process of appointing judges. So I would call his bluff on that, but Biden's not that guy. No. And so if Biden respects the Senate for reasons passing understanding, and so I think that if we don't win the runoffs in Georgia, it's going to be very difficult to get the kind of liberal judges that we deserve.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I love the idea. I find it impossible to imagine, but I love the idea. And your read that Mitch McConnell will just default to you don't get anything. So the view that was expressed by Ted Cruz 4 years ago that Hillary Clinton shouldn't get one, that was sort of like, I guess, extremist for the Republican Party. I agree. I just expect that's what Mitch McConnell's going to do. But let's stop for a second and acknowledge that is sheer madness in a democracy. That we've gone from Mitch McConnell lying and saying in 2016 we can't confirm a Supreme Court justice until the people have weighed in. We've gone from that to they just weighed in. Biden won with a gap in the Electoral College that all of the Trumpers were describing as a landslide in 2016. And now you don't get anything. Something needs to be done. I don't know if it is training our judges in Krav Maga and sending them to work. I'm perfectly fine with that, sign me up. But something needs to be done. And after all, didn't Mitch, how many judges were waiting to be confirmed when Obama left office? Wasn't it over 100 judges of various levels?
because McConnell had blocked Obama judges for the last 2 years. I mean, Merrick Garland was the capstone on an entire administration of blocking Obama judges. I keep saying that the most important election that liberals lost was not 2016, it was 2014. It was 2014 when participation in that election was the lowest it had been since World War II. That's when we lost. That's when McConnell picked up 9 seats and got the majority. That's when we lost it. And that's when we weren't able to take it in 2014, 6 years, that was 2020, and we weren't able to take it back, at least unless Georgia falls right? So we've got structural problems with the Senate. The Senate is, I think now most people on left of center understand, is a fundamentally undemocratic institution. It's designed to be anti-democratic. It's designed to uphold slavery. I mean, that's what it was here for. It's designed to uphold American apartheid. That's what it's here for. That's what it's doing. And so without structural reforms to the Senate in some way, whether that's killing the filibuster, whether that's adding DC and Puerto Rico if they want to as states, whatever structural changes you got for the Senate, like now is the time to fire those out. And again, what am I talking about? I'm talking about a president who is a creature of the Senate, taking steps to cut its power and potentially destroy it. That seems unlikely, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think that the third branch of government is what's going to suffer because of it.
I think that you're certainly right. Wow, the implications are staggering. It's going to be a fun couple of years. Thankfully, we got through the hard part of American democracy. Now we're entering into smooth sailing. But
right. I would just also like to say before I got out here, just because I've heard people kind of say this wrong. It's not that we've lost the Senate for 4 years. Let's not forget 2022 is another election, and the map also looks good for Democrats in terms of winning Senate seats in 2022. Pat Toomey, Pennsylvania, he's retiring. That's an open seat in Pennsylvania. That could be a pickup. So like the way that I think people have to think about it is 21 to 22 being 2 years of aggressive use of executive orders, putting everything you have into taking back the Senate in 22, and then 22 to 24, the set of bold governance that can help the next person win in 24 against Nikki Haley or Tom Cotton or Ivanka Trump or Donald Trump or whoever they run.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree more. Hopefully Biden and his new team, as they're being assembled, are paying attention. But I certainly do agree. Elie Mystal, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. And everyone, check out Elie's work over at The Nation. Amazing analysis of what's going on right now.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.